Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into my summer 2024 forecast verification from GavsWeatherVids. So, back at the end of May, I think it's 26th of May, we released our summer 2024 forecast. We are now well past summer 24, so it's time to go back and review how the forecast did, how we fared with our long-range summer prediction, and I should get to that for you in a moment. Just to say that first, a video set as a 6 a.m. UK weather forecast. We've also released the extended European outlook. I'm going to be live at 6 p.m. with your 10 to 14 day, and that will include all of the regular features as well. Of course it will. We'll do everything we will do in a regular 10 to 14 day. The only difference is that we'll be doing it live for you at 6 o'clock, so I shall see you a little bit later on. There may be. Thank you so much, Richard, for our amazing summer forecast gift. Thank you so much, Rich. Wasn't it lovely? Thank you so much, my friend. And of course, thanks to Shryan and also to Terry and Richard and, hashtag Team Gav, who did so much to help with the summer updates and ultimately with the summer forecast. Right, so the summer forecast was for a slightly more than average summer by about a degree to a degree and a half, with near normal rainfall. We thought it'd be a mixed summer, and we picked up on the idea that the earlier part of the summer would be the most unsettled part and the coolest part, and then the second half of the summer would have the warmest and driest weather included, and it would be what we call a backloaded summer with the hottest weather in the back end of the summer. We said there would be some heat spikes, but fewer than we have had over more recent summers. And overall, just a rather more mixed but still relatively warm summer. Right, well, let's see what happens. So, in terms of the temperature, we see how the mean temperature anomaly is coming out for summer 2024, set against 91 to 2020 average. We see most areas actually came out with near normal temperatures. It wasn't a particularly warm or cold summer, although we did see cooler than average temperatures through western Scotland, Northern Ireland, southwestern Scotland, and also into parts of Wales as well. So, although it was a particularly cold summer, it was actually the coolest summer, though, for 9 years. The coolest summer since 2015. And we possibly overestimated the temperature slightly, I think, for summer 24. As far as precipitation goes, well, it was a significantly wetter than average summer for western parts of Scotland. Generally, the northwest had quite a wet summer as well, but elsewhere it's a dry summer. So it was a very unusual summer, really, in terms of the combination of temperatures being somewhat cooler for recent summers, but also coming out with quite a dry summer. So, quite unusual. Cooler or cool and dry, or cooler and dry. We have had summers like that in the past, 1981, 1993, a couple of examples. But it is quite an unusual combination. Usually if it's dry, it'd be because there's a lot of high pressure around it. If there's a lot of high pressure around it, it'd usually be relatively warm and or hot. So it was quite a strange summer in terms of the temperature and precipitation anomalies. Now let's see how this breaks down on a month-by-month basis. So we can have a look at June, first of all. So June actually came out rather on the cooler side, particularly for more western regions, but even one or two eastern areas came out slightly below average. July came out like that. Again, relatively cool July for many western, northern regions and some eastern areas too. And then August comes out like that. And August is a bit warmer, so we find that more southern, central and eastern parts of England go slightly above average. And more northern, western regions generally go to average rather than being cooler than normal. So I think the idea we have within the forecast is like to be a backloaded summer with the warmest weather later. So I think that worked out quite well, actually. How did precipitation come out on a month-by-month basis? So June came out as a relatively dry month. So we said, but June's likely to be quite cool. We got that side right, but we also thought June could be relatively wet as well. And that side went wrong. July came out like that. So July was rather wetter. We did say that July could be mixed. We expected like the unsettled weather from June to carry over to July, really thought both of those months could be rather unsettled. So July was a wetter month, particularly for more southern and eastern regions, and then August comes out like that. So August was a very wet month, exceptionally wet month for western, southwestern Scotland, but was also a very dry month for more southern and eastern parts of the country. So with August, you pay your money and you take your choice. If you're living in somewhere like, I don't know, western, southwestern Scotland, the forecast was a bust for August. If you're living in, I don't know, Norwich or Leeds, somewhere like that, then the forecast for August was very accurate. Just have a quick look at sunshine, see how that came out for the summer as well, because that's always quite interesting to have a look at. We are at the climate averages page, by the way, at the UK Met Media. It's always an interesting site to look at. So overall for the summer, in terms of sunshine, it was a pretty dull summer for many western and northwestern parts of the country. It was actually a slightly sunnier than average summer, though, in more eastern and southeastern regions. And again, how that breaks down, so that is June. So in June, it was dull in the northwest, West Scotland, Northern Ireland, quite sunny in the south and in the southeast. July came out like that, generally quite a dull July in most areas. The best we have in the south and the southeast is like average sunshine amounts, and certainly for many central northwest regions it was a duller than average July. Pretty poor July, it has to be said. And then August comes out like that, again pretty dull in western regions but sunnier in more eastern areas. So definitely a summer to be in the east if you like drier, sunnier and warmer weather. It's definitely not a summer where west is best. Now, how do we do with the summer forecast? So that's how the stats come out. So we said a mixed summer, and clearly we have had a mixed summer. We also said backloaded with the warmest, driest weather in August, in the back part of the summer. That came out pretty accurately as well, I think. Overall, I suspect we overcooked the temperature a little bit. We thought it would be like a bit above average, about a degree above average, and it came out near normal. And we overcooked precipitation a little bit as well. We thought, you know, it would be a rather wetter summer than it was, particularly in June. So August went okay, I think, away from the northwest Scotland, where it was quite wet. But I think overall the idea of a warmer, drier August was in play for the majority of the country anyway. It's really June in terms of the precipitation that was wrong. If we had a wetter June combined with a wetter July, then I think the precipitation side of the forecast would have been all right. But although June was a relatively coolish month, as we expected, it was also a pretty dry month as well. So overall, quite a strange summer. I'd rate the summer forecast probably about a 6 or 7 out of 10. I don't think we did too badly at all. Got some things right, got some things wrong. That's normally what happens with a long-range forecast. That's about the best you hope for. Occasionally, you'll get like a real hit, and it'll be like a 9 or a 10 out of 10, and everything will go perfectly. But those kind of forecasts are very rare. Really, you're looking to try and get as much right as you can. And I think, you know, some of the forecasts held up quite well, and it did all right. So I wasn't displeased at all with the sort of forecast. It follows on from a run of pretty decent forecasts as well since we came back with the long range, which I think the first one was winter 22-23. After I had a break, you know, when I went off and had the cancer treatment and whatnot. So, yeah, we've had a pretty decent run of long-range forecasts. I think that was another fairly decent effort as well. About a 6 or 7 out of 10. Let me know in the comments what you think to GavsWeatherVids summer forecast. I think we did all right. Less sure about the autumn forecast already, I have to say. But we'll worry about, well, I'll probably do a mid-season. I think I need to reserve the right to do a mid-season review, which I haven't done on the summer forecast. I did with the spring forecast, because our forecast has generally gone quite well, so I haven't needed to. But I think for the autumn forecast, we are going to need to do a mid-season review, because I think the autumn forecast is rather off the rails, and I think we're going to have to make a few adjustments to the autumn forecast. So I'm much less confident about the autumn forecast, but we shall see. It is still relatively early days in the season anyway. But for the summer forecast, I think we did okay. Let me know in the comments what you think. That closing the door Once overall on summer 2024, of course, as I said, we've released the autumn forecast at the end of August, and we are well through winter updates at the moment, and the winter forecast for 24-25 will be released on the 1st of December. And as ever, it's important to go back and verify the forecast, to see how we did, be transparent about what happened, what went right, what went wrong, etc, etc, etc. We've always done that at GavsWeatherVids with our long-range forecasts, and I think that's one of the things that people, respect about what we do. If the forecasts are going wrong, we still go back, and say, but it's gone wrong, and we explain what happened. We don't try to cherry pick anything, and make it out be something that it isn't. So if the forecast goes off the rails, we're very open about that. Right, okay, well, that closes the door on summer 2024. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I say going to be live at 6 p.m. with our Wednesday live stream, so that'll be a 10 to 14 there with all of the regular features as well. I shall see you a little bit later on, hopefully at 6. But for the summer 2024 forecast notification, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.